Hey traders, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you from Day Trading Radio with an educational video on how I use Bollinger Bands. This is entropic communications, which I have been in since the end of October on this downtrending channel. We normally trade channels, descending channels, by watching the upper and lower trend lines and looking for an entry off the lower trend line for a long when we touch or get close to a major moving average, like we did with McDonald's. Okay. Now with ENTR, I got my entry here on the 18th of October. I've since rolled this up into the next month options to current positions, and I'm going to show you why. Okay. First off, when we got into the entry, I noticed the Bollinger Bands were flattening, which was telling me the downside was going to be limited. Okay. Upward Bollinger Band is starting to descend, which is telling me this is likely going to be a consolidation period. Now, I have the hindsight of knowing that, but this is typically what Bollinger Bands will do. Okay? So, I continue to follow this trade. We're now into November, and I've decided to roll these November options to December's. Again, with a flattening Bollinger Band at the lower end and the 100 EMA, I'm feeling pretty safe in this trade. We trade up above the 20 EMA, and I'm noticing the Bollinger Bands above flat. Okay. I notice that we have a MACD cross, and the stochastic is turning at a higher level. Continue on. Bollinger Bands are beginning to squeeze. Okay. Stochastic has turned down, but the 100 EMA is below us, and my Bollinger Bands are continuing to be flat and beginning to squeeze together, so it's keeping me in the trade for now. Continuing on, I'm seeing Bollinger Bands are squeezing even further. So the rule with Bollinger Bands, when you're in an uptrend, as we are here, is when we get inside of a squeeze, we watch for a high in the squeeze. Currently we have these two. Moving forward in time, I'm looking for a close above that high within the squeeze while continuing to base here. Okay, there's my first candle where I've closed above. We're at the end of November, and I've already rolled my options in December, so I'm continuing forward. Stochastics are continuing to move higher. MACDs moved above 0. Now, if I had bought this candle using the rule with Bollinger Bands by the close above the high, I would have bought the close above this high here and this high. Actually, this is the squeeze, so this is the high. So I would have bought on this candle. Actually, I have. I keep saying that. You should have, but in the future, which would keep you in this trade. Now, at this point, you ask me, some people have asked me, what keeps you in the trade? And taking this from a short swing to a long swing. Well, when Bollinger Bands expand, both top and bottom, that's telling you that the strength is there and that likely we're about to embed at this level. So I'm continuing to hold this position now. Okay. You can see what's happening. Notice the Bollinger Bands are continuing to separate. The 8 EMA is cruising up underneath. I'm watching this to utilize the 8 EMA as a support mechanism. Okay. Currently, we have a hammer here. So on this particular day, Bollinger Bands are continuing to move up. That's telling me the move is not going to be as quick as it was when we expanded quite quickly. All right. MACD starting to turn down. Stochastics giving me a sell signal going below 20, but I've stayed with the trade. because the Bollinger Bands are saying, okay, stay a little longer. We bounced off, with this hammer, we bounced off the 8 EMA, and notice the Bollinger Bands are starting to expand again. Okay, stochastic turns back up. We're embedded above the 80 level, or close to the 80 level. So I'm watching this trade, okay, staying above the 8 EMA. Until we break through the 8 EMA and through the 20, I don't have a sell signal. Remember, we bought down here at the 8 level, okay? So we have, our stop has moved up with price. Now, Bollinger Bands are starting to contract here. We have the 20 EMA and the 8 EMA below us. We're embedded, so I'm sticking with the trade. Okay, we're into January now. Bollinger Bands start to compress, but we break higher again. So I'm staying with the trade. We're embedded. I'm starting to see volume. Okay. We had a little candle here on the 11th, on a Tuesday, that looked like it could be some selling. It had higher volume, but continuing to stay with the trade because the Bollinger Band, see where we compressed, the Bollinger Band is flattening out. It's telling me the move probably will continue and will not break down. I am continuing to watch. 8 EMA is starting to flatten, and we get a bounce off the 8 EMA. We still haven't broken down and tested the 20, so I'm still with the trade. Okay, so at this point, I'm in the February 1250 calls, and I'm continuing to hold this. I've rolled up from the 8s all the way to the 1250s, and this is one way to use Bollinger Bands to stay in a trade. Again, this is Cousin Vinny coming to you from Day Trading Radio, where we try to educate and to help our members make good investment decisions. Remember to take profits, and we'll see you in the room.